Welcome back to the Brothers Woods podcast. It's your buddy Josh, sees you here, and my brother Jared as always. And today we have David back.
Yeah, I'm back from the podcast of last week, and we got a new guest with us. One of our close friends.
What's up? It's me, Jordan.
No. I was like, are you going to introduce them?
I don't think
like
they were
I
going to
wanted to
introduce me there,
introduce you.
so, yeah.
That's
Just
right.
let that hang. One of our best friends. Anyways.
Apparently.
I have many best friends.
He does. So, we're here, Josh, Jared, David, Jordan, and we're doing Thor, Ragnarok. It was a fucking awesome movie. Holy shit. It might be my favorite Marvel movie. True
See,
story.
Ever?
I can agree with that.
Ever.
I like the comedic approach. Like, see, since you just said you haven't seen Guardians 2. Guardians 2 is so funny, and then this one is like just 10 times as funny. But it's like a good balance of everything, you know? It's
Yeah.
like funny, serious, just everything works.
That's how I feel completely. Like some people, like Jared over here, were saying it might have been too funny.
What is
Not
too
to put
funny?
words in your mouth.
Too funny.
What is too funny?
But you definitely said that.
I got one thing. I said I had one thing to say about this movie.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I have. For me, it was a great movie, like a 9 out of 10, hilarious. I loved it because the other two didn't stand out to me, so I didn't give a fuck. Why am I wearing these headphones? That's annoying. I just hear myself talk. So it's a great movie, and I loved it. I'm just saying, I know there are people out there who are like, this isn't Thor.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the tone of Thor. It's very, and I understand that, and I agree that it isn't really the tone of Thor. For me personally, I don't give a fuck because I didn't even like the other two really that much.
I've heard.
Damn.
I mean, I haven't seen them, but I've just heard.
I've
their
never,
shit.
I've never watched
They're
them.
not
I've heard they're
bad.
probably. I've heard they're like the weakest, probably in the Marvel universe.
That's how, yeah. They're not bad movies. They're just not outstanding
They're
or
not good.
really.
I didn't even know.
They're like 70%. Go
I
ahead.
didn't even know about Thor until the first Avengers
I actually
came
did
out.
think this was the.
And he was there, and I was like,
movie.
oh, he has his own movie? Like, I had no clue
Damn.
that he had his
Yeah.
own thing.
The second one was so unrememorable that I'd forgot that I had watched it until I looked up like a summary.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
right, you
oh,
told us
right.
that.
I actually did watch this. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it just follows like the same stuff that they've been doing like with Iron Man and all the other ones, but it's getting kind of old. And so it just kind of fell through the cracks, man. And when they came out with this, it was so funny, man. I fucking loved it.
Well, they
So
always
good.
got to have an origin story, right, for every
Yeah.
superhero.
Yeah,
so,
true.
like, the only ones I think that don't have them is, like, Black Widow and, fucking, what's his name?
Oh,
The Archer.
Hawkeye?
Yeah,
Oh,
Hawkeye. Yeah. Because it seems like every other Avenger has some sort of origin movie
And I don't
or
really
story.
like that. I don't know.
But-
I don't need an origin story for everybody.
I really liked the first Iron Man movie.
That one was tight.
That one was tight. And
That
then
was
they just
eight-
kinda
that
got
was
shitty. Yeah.
Over
like-
8 years ago.
I like those movies, but I feel like it's like you got that movie and it has like no impact on the Marvel universe. Like the movie's done, and it was like maybe just a city. That's it. And then Thor, it was like, I can't go into depth, but at the end of it,
Yes.
it's like, wow, it had such a big impact on the whole universe as a whole and the Marvel thing.
I think it's really neat how they're like intertwining all of these movies together now. Because I remember watching the first Avengers and all that stuff years ago and be like, man, that's cool that they got all these superheroes in one place. And now it's like all these like different stories are getting interwoven
Yeah.
into these characters. And you're like, wait a second, I remember that from this other movie.
Especially with Doctor Strange showing up. I know y'all said y'all
Oh, yeah,
haven't seen it.
yeah.
Y'all need to go watch that. by the
Oh,
way.
spoil! No, it's alright. It's alright. It's in the beginning. It
It's
doesn't
not
matter.
that bad.
Who cares?
I mean, because at the end of Doctor Strange, you see him talking to Thor, so it can be
That's true.
assumed they're
True,
going to meet
true,
together.
true.
And then the beginning of the movie happens, and then there he is. And
I wasn't expecting that at all. But then again, I haven't seen Doctor Strange.
such a good movie.
you should
It's
watch
on
Doctor
Netflix.
Strange.
It's
That's
on-
fun.
Please go watch
Yeah,
it.
it's on Netflix right now.
Um,
Another movie night.
Doctor Strange is actually one of my favorite Marvel characters right now.
It's
Yeah.
like
It could be anything with him. That's what's great
Yeah.
about it. But we're not talking about him.
we're still giving impressions of the
can.
movie.
Yeah. So just kind of give you a rating. This is like I said, a quickie review section. So, David.
I mean, I'd give it like what Jordan did. I mean, Jared, excuse me. Basically like a 9 out of
So
10.
9 out of 10,
Wonderful
9
movie. It's great overall. I loved every second of it.
Awesome. So Jared and David, 9 out of 10.
I'm going to go with 7.5.
7 point. He's that one low guy. You gotta have him. I'm going with a 10 out of 10. It's one of the, it's a movie that you compare other movies to. Like, is this movie as good as this movie? And so it's like really, really good. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely in the top like 3 for me. So I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You should definitely go see it if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, you're crazy.
If you don't get the humor or whatever, it just you're not into it, then you might not like this movie. But besides that point, if you're into that, then it's going to be like
humor. If you're not going in it to laugh, you're
not probably going to like it. But if you do, if you're into that, then I mean, if you find it funny in any way, then it's just going to be through the whole movie. You're going to love it.
Yeah, it's definitely funny. All right, so that's like the quickie review. It's super funny. It's a 10 out of 10.
To one person.
For them. But you should definitely see it.
So we all agree it's a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah, we all said that.
I feel like if you average them all, it was a 10.
It was a 10.
Yeah, because let's be honest, mine was like 14 out of 10.
That's right.
So, like I said, go see it. If you haven't, or if you have already seen it, stay with us because we're going to go into spoilers now and talk about the shit that we really liked in it and what we didn't like and what was super awesome. And, yeah. So, spoiler warning. And I just want to start off with the cameos. This is a spoiler, by the way. Cameos, fucking Matt Damon.
Oh, yeah.
Liam
This
Neeson.
shit was so unexpected.
I mean, there's a bunch of cameos.
I swear that Matt Damon does that for every movie. I don't know why, but it feels like he just shows up.
Has he been in other ones?
I don't think so. It just feels like he's always he's like the butt of the joke who will show up and play the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
I think him and Chris Hemsworth are kind of friends or something too now. So I think he just was like, hey man, come be in this movie. It's gonna be hilarious.
I saw that. Yeah, when I saw him, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just not expecting. Like, I know there's like actors you associate with like the Marvel films, like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth, and I can't remember who plays Loki. Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. And those guys, and I associate them with Marvel. But then to see Matt Damon, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It's so weird, actually, to just see like an actor you didn't expect in a Marvel movie.
I thought Stan Lee's cameo
Dude, he's
was a
always
little weak. It was It was so quick, and I was like, this is such a weird cameo for him to be a part of. Like, other parts, he's always played like a bigger role or like a more important character.
I think what it is that he's like, they're like running out of ideas for him.
I know that a lot of people are annoyed
one of them.
by Stan Lee cameos. I just want him to show up and I like him, and I wish that he would show up in DC movies just to fuck with people. Like one movie, he's just like in the background. They're like,
"Was that Stan Lee?" I sort of created
this. Just show up as an extra or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
I completely forgot that he does that for all those movies too.
Yeah,
so when I saw him, I was like, "Oh, holy shit!"
He was even in the Deadpool trailer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in the
Deadpool
trailer.
2.
Yeah, he was like the guy in the alley or whatever.
You know how I went to Orlando? Literally, I was riding like a Spider-Man ride, and he has a cameo on a fucking 4D.
Fucking ride. It's great.
That's actually pretty
He's
awesome.
in everything that's related to him.
Yeah, so the cameos were good. We had, as we kind of already discussed, Doctor Strange little cameo in here.
Yeah.
Which was also really fucking.
Doctor Strange part is great. Like I was trying to say earlier, but I didn't want to talk about Doctor Strange. He can kind of do anything. So I was hoping when I saw his movie that he would just show up in other people's movies and he'd be like, I have bigger things to worry about, like the world ending and stuff, like everywhere, the entire universe. So I'm just going to let you handle this small thing.
Man, that makes me want to watch the movie
It
now
is
because
so
I was
good.
like, I was seeing him do all that stuff, and I'm like, it seems like he just has
like-
unlimited power, and I never liked superheroes who just.
What's that movie?
Well,
no-
it's an origin story, so he's not like super powerful in the movie yet,
Right.
but it's still very like fun.
Yeah, his power level from the actual movie to this cameo.
Yeah, it's a lot
is
stronger.
Exponentially.
Yeah,
increased.
at the end of Doctor Strange, he's like putting away one of these like sources of power. I can't think of the name of it, but when he shows up as a cameo in Thor, he's
Yeah.
like he's wearing it, so it shows his power has grown exponentially
Yeah.
from then to now.
Yeah, he's I love Benedict Cumberbatch, so who knows if I actually like Doctor Strange or if I just love
Yo,
Benedict.
That's got to be
Cumberbatch.
good job security for those actors too, because like if you play like Robert Downey Jr., they're never going to cast anybody for Iron Man again.
Yeah, well, I think he's done actually after this Avenger, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of the people who started I know the guy who plays Captain America, whose name I'm forgetting
Chris
now.
Evans.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, right? I think he said that he's done, and I think you're right. Robert Downey Jr. said he's done. I did read that Chris Hemsworth said that he's going to do Thor like for the next few movies essentially, and so now pretty much coming to an end pretty soon. And then after that, he's not under contract, but he'll come back if people want him to. And I think you're right. Like for a lot of
good
these
idea
guys,
for
it's
him.
like fucking just a really good paycheck to
Yeah.
have fun on set essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like right now they're finishing. This is like the end of Phase 3. So they have phases in the Marvel universes, like for things. Phase 3 is with Avengers going to end. And Phase 4 is starting with the second Spider-Man movie. And so that would be Phase 4. So in Avengers, they were talking about like kind of expect some shit's going to come to an end. Like some people might not make it out.
I don't think a lot of people are going to make it out.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of dead people. It's going to be like...
I think this next Avengers
it's
movie...
It's going to be like the Red Wedding.
With Thanos is like, we're going to knock out a bunch of people so we can bring a bunch of new heroes in.
Yeah. Because they were talking about, because Chris Evans already said he's not coming back. And so they were talking about, where it could go next. Maybe his buddy Bucky might pick up the mantle since they both have super serum soldier serum in them.
Right.
And whatnot. So,
and I think...
pick it up. And he's in the comics that's taking over at one point, too.
I think Bucky was... I think he was put into, hibernation or something. So, I think that's possible. I'm not sure about that. But I think he was affected by mind control, so he just went to the Wakandans and was like, I gotta get out of here. And they were like, we're good.
Yeah.
We got you. We're way advanced.
Be awesome, man. They're gonna, they'll have their, oh my god, what's her name? Essentially their Wonder Woman. I think it might be
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel, yeah. So she starts it with Phase 4 and then some others, so it'll be good. Anyways, back to Thor. I don't know why we're talking about Avengers.
They're all so tied together.
They are tied together.
Let's talk about Korg and how I want him in every movie from now on.
Hell yes.
I'm going to see Justice League next week. I really hope Korg is in Justice League. I know that doesn't work out, but...
If you've seen this movie, which hopefully you have if you're listening to this, man, you'll realize, Korg is probably the best thing in this entire fucking movie, man.
He's the one that
so
I think
funny.
you might not get his humor, but then if you do get it, then you're like, oh, I love Korg. He's great.
So funny. Literally just a pure comedic relief character. Nothing
That's
else.
all he is.
That's all he is.
He's just like,
when you see him, you
hey,
know
man.
some funny shit's going on.
I need a shirt that says, hey, man.
Don't have enough pamphlets.
This is Meek. He's an insect with scissors on his hands.
There's old Doug.
Great. Oh, that part was great when Thor's like, has anyone fought him before? And he's like, oh yeah, Doug has. Oh, Doug's died. Yeah, everyone who fights the champion is dice.
Yeah, he's a good character. I understand the comedic relief in his character. He's like one of those characters that you don't think of as being important in the film, but then after you watch the film, it's like, it's like one of those characters that everybody's going to reference about. In
he's like
film.
the standout
he's
guy.
Like, he's like the guy that you weren't expecting, and then he's there, and you're like, man, what a cool character to have in the film. Definitely memorable.
If he wasn't there, this film would have suffered, right?
Right.
Supposedly Korg is from in the comics, or he's in the comics, and then in the comic he's actually one of his main from the first issue bad guys or something.
Yeah. I think he's one of the standard bad guys though.
The reason I asked you about if you've seen Guardians too, they show his whatever species he is. They're time warping through the galaxies or whatever. I don't know what the wording would be, but you see somebody that looks very similar to Korg when they probably a 5-second flash, but it's a reference to him.
Awesome.
They're a lot bigger than just he's one person.
I wonder if in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, if they knew Korg was going to be in this, and so let's put a little, the intertwining we were.
They might.
About.
Whoever does it, Kevin Feige or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But whoever does it, he controls the entire thing. Yeah, he's planned it all out, so it's very possible. But I'm pretty sure that this movie has changed drastically since its inception. So I don't know.
I was reading that a lot of it's improv.
Yeah,
70% of it's just improv.
Yeah,
and that's hard to believe, but it being as good as the movie was, I don't know how you just improv everything. But
from what I heard, it was a very serious movie or something, and then Taika Waititi, I'm probably saying that wrong. He came in and had a sort of a different vision, and then all the actors were just well, we don't really want to be that serious anymore. We did that on The Dark World. We'd rather have a more lighter tone than that, and so they just rolled with it.
Yeah, well,
it worked out.
Yeah, they did a fucking good job, yo.
Speaking of lighter tone, this movie is very beautiful to look at. The colors are very good.
It's fantastic.
It's not one of those.
Good segue.
It's not a very a dark movie. It's very colorful.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was about to go into. So that's a perfect segue. I was just about to say, let's talk about the tone and the color of the movie.
Very good. Everything looks beautiful. My favorite scene, visually, was when the Valkyries were coming at
Oh, yeah. This the artistic scene or whatever.
Dude, it looks so good.
I need that as my wallpaper. Stranger Things 2, you're coming down.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
the scenery was really good too. I know Sakaar,
Sakaar,
the garbage planet.
Yeah.
That was like, I mean, not beautiful to look at, but it was just so weird and kind of like colorful and zany. Everything was weird and out of place. Nothing made sense, as Korg said. The only thing that makes sense is that nothing makes sense. And
Yeah, the time's different. Everything's different on there.
Yeah. I feel weird, like, trying to talk about it because I haven't read much of the comics. But you know how, on the tower in Sakaar, they had all those busts on the
yeah.
building? They had the Hulk, and then they had a dude named,
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill.
I heard about that.
He's picked up Thor's hammer before.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that he's like a alien, just a straight up like other alien guy who just randomly, or
Yeah.
not randomly, but ends up picking up Thor's hammer, and Thor's like, "All right, you're worthy. You're like a good guy."
Yeah. So, like, people are geeking over that because apparently he's going to appear in some other movie, possibly. I mean, everything's there for a reason. you
Yeah.
know? And I don't remember who the third bust was. I know there was another one.
I think there's another 2 or 3.
I know there was the Hulk, Beta Ray Bill, and I can't think of the third one.
Yeah, I saw a thing. There was like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Outdoing
I
you.
can't even believe y'all remember that name. I can't remember.
Beta
the
Ray
names.
Bill. I don't know. That sounds familiar.
It's like you know, it slides off your tongue,
Yeah.
man. It's
got
very
you, Beta Ray
fluid.
Bill.
Call me Beta Ray Bill from now on.
So we got Nugget Woods and Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, so the tone, like, I love, so like they kind of set it off really well. Like, I was talking to someone else about this, and like, sometimes like when they have a movie like this where the movie as a whole tone changes from the other two, it kind of, and it could be why some people might not like it because the tone shift from the other ones. But like we were saying, you can't really remember them anyways. But they set it off right off the bat, you know. So like in the first scene, you have him hanging from a chain talking to,
Balrog isn't his name.
Balrog. Sauron? No.
Sauron.
no, it's not Sauron.
Balrog.
Oh, the demon guy?
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
remember
What's
his name anymore.
Isn't Balrog like from Diablo?
I thought he was breaking.
Yeah,
Balrog
Balrog
was
is
breaking
from.
the fourth wall in like that opening scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's like talking to the skeleton, and I was like, "Is he talking to us? Are they breaking the fourth wall like instantly?"
Yeah,
But
I was like,
then
man,
he's
that's
like,
ballsy.
yeah.
And they were talking to the skeleton, but yeah,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, but like, so it sets it up right off the bat with a tonal change, and
Yeah, you're right. Literally, the first scene is him just being like, "Well, you're probably wondering how I ended up here," and it's very light and just jokey.
Then he's talking to the demon, and he's spinning around the chain, and he's like, "Oh,
He's like, "Hold on,
okay, I'm not looking at you." Wait, talk.
hold on, I'm gonna
spin
spin.
around.
I'm trying my best here, man. I'm really not doing this on purpose."
I love how they go back the second time too. When I went back around, I was like, I know they're not about this for a second time. He totally does. It's like, okay, oh man. There's a thing they do like that in comedy in general, where they come back to it 2 or 3 different times. But yeah, so like they set up the whole movie. If they didn't have that scene, I don't think the movie actually would have probably been as good. I think it would have been a lot
the
worse.
opening
actually.
scene?
Yeah, because like it would be like a weird change for people. Like by setting it up right off the bat, like if they would have like laced it in halfway through, like it would have been serious for 30, 40 minutes.
Well,
And then out of the blue, it just
Yeah.
started being silly.
Yeah,
that scene was necessary too because they used his crown later. Remember?
Oh,
yeah. I
To
mean,
resurrect the undead
that-
army, and then he comes back at the end. So, like, if they didn't have that scene, it's like, you know,
the
where are they pulling
actual
this character from?
events are actually pretty great in that way. They start off with like, it's Thor Ragnarok. Here's the guy who's gonna cause Ragnarok, and then Thor just kind of handles him like it's no big deal. They leave, and then you think maybe Ragnarok refers to Hela or something coming, and then at the end it's like, well, Ragnarok happens because they need to stop Hela. It's like a really good twist for me, anyways. I didn't think about it until it happened, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, they're just gonna actually have it go through with it.
I didn't expect them to blow up Asgard.
Yeah,
I
that's
did not either.
I was like,
I had that
okay,
written
that's
out, like-
really permanent.
yeah.
Yeah, supposedly in the comics, there's a comic where they have Asgard. That kind of happens to Asgard, and then they move to Oklahoma.
That's great.
That might be something in the future.
sacred city.
They're going to Oklahoma. So I think that'd be hilarious if they do that. I can't pronounce his name.
Taika Waititi?
Yes.
Can we just call him like the director?
Yeah, let's call him the director.
His name's pretty difficult.
It's awesome at the same time. I like different names like that, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, man, what are your thoughts on him?
I mean,
Like his direction.
his direction, and his character.
they're both great.
I
Both
think
very great.
Does he actually voice the character, or does
Korg?
he?
Yeah, he does
Okay.
Korg.
I like
There's a
his
different actor
character.
who, like, does the actual like costume, right?
I think he.
Or does,
I
he
think
does
I remember seeing that he said he got into the little ball suit
okay.
or whatever. I don't know. He said because he was talking about how it's hard to direct people when you're wearing a ball suit
Oh, yeah. I saw
because
that.
people don't take you seriously.
Because you're wearing
I
pajamas.
liked his character, and I liked
Really?
the Grandmaster, Goldblum. Is that
Yeah,
his
Oh,
name?
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
We can go ahead and get in.
both of those characters are like some of my favorites.
Yeah.
I like Jeff Goldblum wherever he shows up. He just does Jeff Goldblum, but it's really great when he when he does the Jeff Goldblum character.
I thought it was interesting that how they like transition between scenes because they're like walking out onto the arena or whatever, and then they like cut back to Hela.
Yeah.
So you're like all
You got, like, three
all hyped
separate
up for this
stories going
fight,
on.
and then they cut to Hela, and you're like, okay, that was a little all of a sudden. And it's like then she has that fight with all the guards or whatever on the front of the steps.
She kills all the people from the other movie
Everybody.
in the first scene when she gets back. I just remembered that.
Except for Sif.
Oh, except for
Is
Sif.
Sif the black dude? Is that his name?
No,
Or-
Sif is the girl.
I mean, Idris Elba.
You just...
I don't know any of the characters. I'm
Idris
sorry.
Elba is a real person who exists in real life.
I was just in my mind like, you mean Sif, the beautiful woman? And you're like, you talking about the black
You talking
dude?
about the black dude,
I
right?
was like,
No, I just thought Sif was that dude that was like
he
taking
was also
away
a
the.
beautiful dude as well.
Yeah,
I
in
love
the
Idris Elba.
first movies, or I don't know, maybe this is the first one. Thor has like a crew of people, and one of them's Sif. She's not there, but all the other ones are there when Hela shows up, and that's the people she just like knife to the throat, knife to the back, just like
Who is-
fucking second, just wipe that whole
who
thing
is
out.
Jane that they speak on? Was that like his Earth
Jane is-
girlfriend or something?
Natalie Portman.
Did you see the first two movies?
No.
Oh. Well, it's Natalie Portman's character
Natalie's
from the first. Natalie's Portman from the first movie and the second. She's like his girlfriend, and I guess they took her out of the series, man. I
I don't think she wanted to do it.
I don't think she wanted to do it, and I think they were like, well, you cost a lot too. This
Well, yeah.
Other actors would cost a lot less.
And they probably weren't getting that much done with that love story anyways.
Yeah, so they just threw her out. But they threw it away. Like, they did a good job of, like, taking it out. They were like, oh, yeah,
They did the
I
same
broke up
thing
with
with Pepper Potts.
With Iron Man.
yeah,
Yeah.
with Iron Man, yeah. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, though.
Wonderful.
Love that guy, man.
He's so funny. He has like a different comedic approach though than what's his name?
He's great.
Lord,
He's just like a
whatever.
crazy man who
I didn't
of
even know that he was
undeterminable
in
age.
this film until he showed up.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And then he showed up, but he was just like,
He's like funny in a weird way. Like I don't know how to describe it.
The best way to describe it is the end credit
he's crazy.
scene.
That's what. Oh yeah.
Where there's this, obviously you've seen the movie. There's this big revolution. The end credit scene comes out, and he comes out this like plane with these two like bimbos or whatever with the weird fucking hair, and he's like, "Oh man, that was a great revolution, guys. You can't
It
have
was
a
a
great
tie.
revolution. You can't have a great revolution without a great person to revolute against." And then he's like, "Good job, it's a tie."
Yeah, that's the good.
Anyways,
Wow.
Wow, not even putting his phone on silent.
What's it like?
I'm sorry. I love you guys. Cut that.
Jeff Goldblum in his ending scene, but also Jeff Goldblum in all the other scenes that he's in. Very nice. Very good.
Very funny.
Very funny. I like the part where Thor interrupts him, and the lady like gives him a staff that kills people, and he's like, "What? No, he interrupted me. That's not a,
That's,
like.
that's
not
not.
a-
I'm not gonna. Kill
I'm not
him.
gonna punish him by death for that."
It was dope, man. Jeff Goldblum, fucking dope. I don't know of a movie he's ever been in that isn't, well, maybe good or not good, so not the right thing, but
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum was good in the movie. He does his thing. He's fucking hilarious. Nick Cannon's hilarious. I'm sorry.
He's hilarious.
Dave Chappelle reference. That's what I'm talking about. Chappelle Show.
Yeah, one day.
Podcast.
I'm hoping he'll bring that shit back one day.
That'd be-
Yeah, he does his thing. It's hilarious.
Purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
One thing I didn't like is when Odin died. It was like a 1 minute scene. It was like he's dead, and then
It wasn't like a 1 minute scene. It was more
mean-
like 5 minutes because he had the whole conversation
But
with Thor.
he's
and
such a
Loki.
big part, and it's like he's dead. You know.
I agree. And the way he died was kind of like,
How did he die again? Did
Yeah,
he
how
just
is
fade?
he? Yeah,
I mean,
how
he
was he
just-
supposed
like
to
turned
die?
into energy.
He did
or
what
something.
anybody else does when they die. They just disintegrate into
Yeah.
gold particles.
I was
Did it really
I
quick.
was,
I was
He just did it
surprised
really
to know
fast.
that that's Anthony Hopkins like from Silence of the Lambs fame.
Like the
and all
actual,
that.
the actual Anthony Hopkins.
I was like, wait a second, I recognize that person. I like looked it up in the movie. I was like, why do I recognize his face? Like, where do I know him from? And it was like, yeah, it's Anthony Hopkins. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, man, they get some big people, man. You get Matt Damon.
What's great is when Loki is pretending to be him. That means that Anthony Hopkins had to pretend to be Loki, pretending to be
Exactly,
Odin,
right.
which
And
was
he did a fantastic
which was
job.
great. Yeah, I loved it because he's just like eating grapes. Like, that's so great. I don't know. It's a great scene.
I didn't even think
It's a great
about that.
scene
It's
because
super
it's
good.
Anthony Hopkins playing that character.
That's actually super funny, yeah. Man, so next, eye patch. What's your thoughts on that, man?
The eye patch?
Essentially Thor becoming,
Thor getting an eye patch at the end.
his eye.
Is he going to be in the next movie that everybody does together? Or
The Avengers, yeah.
Yeah.
he
So-
should be in there.
progressively, wouldn't he not have his eye in that movie? Or
Yeah, I'm pretty
what's
sure
gonna
He's
happen?
not
that's-
gonna have his eye in that either, yeah.
I think that's happening right after this, so he's not going to have an eye. It's just going to be one-eye guy. I'm sure we're going to have Tony Stark giving plenty of jokes.
Yeah, I think how it's going to actually happen, because we see at the end of that credit scene Thanos.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen is essentially he, like, beats Thanos back, you know what I mean, or something like that. So, like, sees Thanos, I think he's actually, I just take it back, because I think we see an end credit scene in another movie where Thor's, like, flying in space or something. Like, when I say flying, I mean he's all, like, fucked up in space. He's not actually flying. So that might be him trying to fight off Thanos there, and his people getting back to Earth without Thor.
Maybe. I don't remember that scene, but where's Thor? Where's Hulk right now? Is he on the ship with
He's
them?
on the ship with
He's
him,
on the
yeah.
ship with them.
Okay, so maybe that could end up happening like
Or, like,
first scene
Hulk
or
gets
something.
back,
Hulk
yeah.
just goes like, "I'll fight him off," and then
Yeah,
gets fucked up in space or something.
Which could segue into the next thing I want to talk about, which is his little upgrade in powers, which was fucking awesome. Which I guess neither of y'all saw the first two.
Nah.
His powers were okay.
I thought it was all about the hammer.
Also, you see his
Exactly.
hammer
Well,
get
that's what I was
destroyed.
going to say. I wanted to talk about all that. Like, so hammer, which is essentially
How do
like
you guys feel about that hammer? You like that hammer?
It's pretty cool.
I mean,
maybe
I've
like-
always associated it with.
I feel. I mean,
Thor.
they
I always
kind of they go
feel
hand in
really
hand.
weird about it because it's so small. Like the handle is so small, but it's just a big chunk of metal and like a tiny ass. It just looks weird to me.
It's
But everyone thinks it's the coolest fucking thing in
it's
the world.
interesting to see like how he uses it because I don't know if you ever watched the first Superman movies. It's like he didn't know how to fly instantly, so he would just jump.
Yeah, yeah.
And then once he finally figures out how to fly, and I think it's the same thing too with the hammer, where like he spins it and flings it in a direction, and that's
And then the
basically
hammer
flying.
pulls him off.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's like him flying. But they did a lot of comedic stuff too in this movie with that, where like he'll like call a hammer. And it's like going through like 7 different walls, and he's like, "Yeah, hold on."
It
a
just
second.
show, yeah, 1, 2.
I loved it every time they did that too. I wanted one of those times for it not to show up, which I guess did actually happen.
Well, yeah, because it gets
Because
destroyed.
They
Because it
fucking
gets destroyed.
broke it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of I wanted to talk about all the hammer and the action and the lightning. So the hammer thing, as Cord kind of explores, you know, when he gets there, he's like, I had this hammer. And Cord's like, yeah, it sounds like you're real close to your hammer.
He's a really close relationship with this hammer.
And so it's kind of funny to me that he never really revisits the hammer thing after that one. So it breaks.
Is the hammer just done?
I
Yeah,
think it
like,
is.
that's what I'm wondering,
I think
like-
the hammer is gone now, which is crazy. That's a bold
doesn't really
move right
need it
there.
anymore.
I wonder if it's
does
just like
he?
a catalyst for him. You know?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that's
He
what
said
Odin.
in the movie too, like Odin says to him in the movie, like he gave him the hammer to control his powers.
Yeah, it
Help him
wasn't.
focus
Yeah,
his
exactly.
powers.
Focus his
Focus
powers,
his
right.
powers.
And
yeah.
now that
Go ahead.
now that at the end, you know, he does it on his own will.
He
or
doesn't need
whatever.
it.
He doesn't need it anymore, so I don't think it's going to come back.
Yeah, I guess it's not, but it was kind of because he cared so much about it. I was like, is he not going to try and like get the bits back somehow? Like,
Fix it,
fix it? Like, oh,
super glue it.
Let me-
Should have
let me-
had
let
an
me go
instant
he
back-
scene.
destroys it and he just walks over there. Oh my god, he's picking up the pieces.
totally should have had a scene
ending
of him
scene where
picking
he's
up
like
the
with
pieces.
super glue, like gluing pieces back together,
That would have been the funniest shit ever.
and he
Why
like
did
picks
I
it
do
up.
that?
He finishes the last piece in, and he like picks it up, and he's like, and it just falls all down. Something.
Or he picks it up and someone else tries to pick it up and they're just like, "Psh, no problem. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think it's working yet.
What are the words on the hammer?
Oh God, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Mjolnir.
Don't pick it up unless you're Thor. I think that's what it says.
Or Beta Ray?
Or Beta Ray.
Captain,
Hey, you know what it is? Beta Ray Bill's name in his language is Thor. So it's just,
okay.
yeah.
One of, y'all were just talking about Beta Ray Bill and being able to pick it up. I think in one of the movies, Captain America puts his hands on it. He's like able to wiggle it or something.
Yeah, that's Age of Ultron, I think.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that scene where
yeah,
Captain America like sort of wiggles and Thor just his face is just like, oh shit, oh no.
Because isn't that the movie where Iron Man's like AI or whatever materializes and he picks up the hammer and hands it to Thor and everybody just like looks at him like.
Oh yeah.
The Vision, or isn't that his name? Vision.
Vision. Yeah, I think that's his name. Vision.
Yeah, I think that's why
Played by
Thor's
an
okay
awesome
with
actor.
him.
I love that actor.
Like existing because he was able to pick up the hammer. So Thor's just like he picked up the hammer. He's good. He's worthy.
What I was kind of bringing that to is, so does that mean Captain America is like semi-worthy, but not? I feel like Captain America is like one of the best dudes out there, like when it comes to being worthy for anything.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's just maybe he's missing some of that glory. I don't know why he can't do it.
He's really tolerant for being, transported from the early 40s to
That's true.
to modern day.
That's true.
That's probably it. We just don't see his bad side, but sometimes he's like, God damn.
Why was letting these women vote? What's going on? Whoa, Captain America, chill.
Can't say
This
that.
is a new day and age.
Say that anymore.
Are they allowed to sit in this restaurant?
He's like that racist grandparent you have.
Oh shit. Yeah. So the other thing I just want to talk about was his powers after the hammer finally breaks or whatever gets broken. Gets his new he's like truly like lightning god, or thunder god, lightning god kind of thing. Holy shit.
That's pretty great.
You mean
pretty
when
cool
like
when his
Sith
eyes-
Lord's out?
His
Yeah,
eyes,
like
his
the
eyes
end
go
scene
blue
when he's
and
on
all
the
that.
bridge and he's fighting those dudes and the fucking like the lightning's like moving on its own and shit. And like, I don't know, it's like one of the best fights he's ever seen. That and then the first one in the very beginning as well, when he's fighting with Mjolnir, when he actually has the hammer. And I love how like they're kind of doing their, I saw someone else talking about it and they were talking about like in the comics, one of the people who plays Thor, it's not actually Thor, but it's one of the people who does get the hammer. Like they do a lot of like their own kind of thing. So it's kind of like the hammer goes this way and then they'll fight this way. And so they fight in tangent a lot. And so like in the beginning of this, like that kind of happened, like he throws the hammer around and the hammer's just flying around and shit and he's just beating people in the face.
It reminded me of Gauntlet or
Oh yeah,
like
I think
stuff like that. And then Mikey was like, he was like talking Diablo 3 to me. He was like, dude, he's a hammer crusader or something. I'm like, dude, shut up. And then after he pointed it out, that's all I could see was like Diablo 3.
he's just
spinning
like a
hammers
crusader.
around
Yeah, that one move where you throw the hammer and it like goes in circles.
Next thing, Hulk smashing into the bridge. Thought was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's well, you
Yeah, when he jumps out of the plane.
Yeah, when he
When he-
jumps out of the air,
And
the
he
ship
just-
or whatever,
he's like, this is my job, and he
I'm gonna handle it. Then he jumps like hundreds of feet.
100 feet. Yeah,
Hits the bridge hard as shit.
on his
Just lays
face.
there.
I was just like, obviously I don't know how the dynamics of him and the Hulk work.
Wouldn't it be
He's
funny
not
if
dead
that's just
somehow.
how he dies? Alright. That's his character. Just done.
That's funny.
That would be funny, yeah, if he like never got up.
That's the end of him.
He died. Yeah, supposedly, so I guess, like Valkyrie right there is supposed to be like a meld of like 2 or 3 characters, one of which being the Hulk's wife and Planet Hulk. So kind of go on Planet Hulk.
Yeah,
a
see,
little
that's
bit.
another thing where, like, I doubt any of us read the comics.
Yeah, I know a little bit, but not a lot. Like,
But,
I kind of wish we had him.
Like, when I was watching things on it, it's like, yeah, this is from this comic, this is from this comic. It's like, man, it's just, there's so much to it that I can't appreciate because I don't read the comics,
Yeah. But yeah, supposedly from that, like, that's his wife. That's like, supposedly, like, they're trying to combine Valkyrie, or maybe just Valkyrie. But Valkyrie and then, like, 2 other characters. And then also, like, her jumping out, like, when he, like, jumps out, he's like, by the way, I couldn't tell you this before, but this soft man is actually a fucking monster. And he jumps out the plane. And that's where I got on this tangent from.
Their relationship actually is pretty funny though. At Sakaar, where she shows up and he's like, "Hey," like he's excited to see her. His
After he
only
changes-
friend.
Angry girl.
After he changes back to
Angry girl.
like normal Banner, she's like, I feel like I know
I feel
you
like I
from.
recognize you.
Know you
I
from
feel like I
somewhere,
know
yeah.
you too.
They had this, like, little moment. There's that. Also, to talk about Scourge. Carl Urban.
Oh, Carl Urban's in this.
Carl!
A man of no words, but you just see him like,
He makes one face throughout the entire fucking movie.
and the whole movie you're wondering like, what's his role, you know? Like, he goes from,
Oh, yeah, the guy with the, yeah.
I don't know his role in the beginning. I guess he was just,
He was taking over, so Loki had taken over at this point.
Yeah.
And Loki don't like, Idris Elba's
Heimdall.
character, Heimdall being there because Heimdall can see the future, so Heimdall knows it's Loki essentially.
Yeah.
So he like fires him and puts Scourge, in his spot. And Scourge can't see anything, so that's why he like doesn't realize like anything. Like when he's like, I need to be called back. And he's not getting called back and shit. But it's cool, man. But it's scary. He's just like, I got all this stuff.
got these guns, deaths,
I call it Des.
Des and Troy.
And Troy. Destroy.
Together they make Destroy.
Which is also from the comics, and and he has like this little arc in the comics as well, kind of almost a similar arc, and
Does he die at the end of the film?
yeah,
Okay. I
Yeah.
can't remember, because I remember he jumps out.
He
jumps
sacrifices himself, right?
Yeah, he jumps out of the plane with the guns.
with Des and Troy, yeah.
Destroy.
Destroy.
Troy.
That's so, when he said that, I was
So
like,
dope.
what the fuck?
Oh, that's the type of movie this is. Or actually, you know, the best scene that shows what type of movie this is him using the shake weight.
Yeah.
He's got like a moped next to it.
At the end, man, I was when he was using those Des and Troy to fuck all those guys up, man. I was like, is he ever gonna run out of ammo here? Was anyone else thinking that at the end?
Yeah,
Like,
he was using a
like,
lot of
going for
ammo.
a ride. And then he obviously does finally run out of ammo and gets fucked up.
700 bullets later.
Had like a little bit of that 80s, like never run out of bullets charm
He
to
was
it.
letting that bitch off, dude.
I want to talk about the sister Hela.
I thought she was a good antagonist. She seemed kind of like just a kind of thrown in character.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, it felt so rushed when they're like, oh yeah, and actually this is the firstborn, and they don't talk about it, and it's like, what the hell is this coming from? And
Yeah,
like,
it
her
comes out-
powers.
The thing that bothered me with her is like, she gets to Asgard and she's just sitting in the fucking throne room. Like, she's not trying to get Thor. She's not trying to really take it. She's just like taking her sweet time doing things. It's like,
I think
Well, I
she's
think
getting
she-
ready to reconquer the universe, right? But she can't do
Yeah.
it because she doesn't have the sword that goes in the teleporter or whatever.
Yeah, she's trying to get the Bifrost sword or whatever.
Yeah.
She can use the Bifrost. And I think she thinks Thor's dead, because when Thor shows up, she's like, you're still alive? That means, I mean, I kind of agree with you. She doesn't necessarily, like, she's not a bad villain, I guess, but she's not, like, interesting, really.
Mm-hmm.
She just sort of does feel thrown in. But at the same time, in a movie like this, what would a good villain be? I don't know. I don't know where, it doesn't,
Yeah, I guess we're getting to that stage where we have those like omniscient like villains like Thanos and stuff like that, where they're like gods of the universe and stuff like that. It's like
isn't,
her power seemed a little ridiculous, so she was just like whipping knives
Whipping
and stuff
out of nowhere.
out of nowhere. I'm
It
like,
just-
how do
yeah.
you even stop this?
apparently the Grandmaster's like a god too.
Yeah, I meant to talk about that while we were there. Supposedly, him and the Collector, who's played by Benicio del Toro, they're brothers, and they're like, so supposedly people are saying that they're going to show up in Avengers 4 with Thanos.
Yeah, I was reading he's like immortal and stuff. So I mean, there's no way, like, you know, at the end, that little riot they're having, the revolution. It's not like they can kill the dude. So
Yeah.
I don't see why he wouldn't show up again. You know?
Oh, you mean Jeff Goldblum's character?
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like
he's like
immortal. He's like some.
That makes sense. They
Well, I
both
think
have,
what he said in the film
White hair.
that because of how time works on Sakaar, that he just doesn't age. Because he
Yeah,
said he's been there for a long time.
It
So
might
I
just
don't know.
be-
I don't
It might
remember
just be his
exactly what he
explanation for his immortality, though.
but you
In
kind
the
of,
comics, he's supposedly like immortal.
Oh, really?
I don't know what he says exactly, but it's something like, you know, I've been here for millions of years, or I don't know how long, or something like that. I don't
Right.
really remember what he
It
says.
was a long
though.
time,
He,
yeah.
he implies that he's been on Sakaar for a long time, but
Back to Hela. She, I thought was a pretty good villain. I guess her and Loki, since they must take, well, actually, Loki's technically not
Adopted.
blood related. Yeah, he's adopted. I was about to say take after their mom's abilities because they both had like the knives appear out of nowhere kind of thing. Like Loki, you know, does it all the time, although his knives aren't as big.
I think he's just a magician, though. I mean, he
Yeah,
just,
which parallels on him and Doctor Strange too. Like that's kind of cool. Like to see their different
Oh, yeah.
sides. They're pretty much the same character in terms of like abilities. From my understanding, that's kind of cool. Obviously, Doctor Strange's a lot cooler though because Benedict Cumberbatch.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Please go watch it.
I like how with Hela though, like you get to see like Anthony Hopkins' character Odin is not necessarily a good guy.
Right.
So like the first two, like you know, he's benevolent to some degree. Even in this one, like, you actually see him being really benevolent at the end of his life. But he's kind of that guy who, like, he didn't get there by being benevolent. Like, he was an evil fucking dude beforehand, man. He, like, fucking murked people on, like, a regular basis. He was just killing motherfuckers.
Well, he's a conqueror, and then he decided,
he conquered. Yeah,
decided that's not really what that's not the direction we want to bring this kingdom in.
Yeah, and so he, like, puts Hela away, like, all right, you're a little too crazy, you know.
I mean, it's interesting that happened, like the history of that. I like that. It is silly that it's like, oh, well, we had a tapestry made of us conquering, but instead of taking it down, I just covered it up.
Yeah.
It's been here for untold amount of time. I've just covered it up with another wall.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like that too. It might show that maybe him, like, knowing it's there, you know, like, so he knows where it came from and things like that.
Yeah.
It might show to his own psychosis, you know. I kind of like that.
I thought it was interesting. This might be sidetracked, but
Go ahead.
Loki's like character change towards the end of the film, right? Because he's still like trying to, you know, when Thor's trying to get the ship to get off of Sakaar and then back to, you know, Asgard, and how Loki tries to betray him again. But, like, Thor knows it's gonna happen, so he's already got the thing, like, in his neck or whatever, and, like, shocks him and throws it away. He's always been that mischievous one. And you're just like, you don't expect him to do good, and then he does at the end of the film when he shows up.
Yeah, I meant to talk about that too, where the interesting thing about this film, even though it's, like, focuses on the comedy, I think in a lot of ways, and it's very funny, but that scene afterwards where they're talking and he's like, I don't even expect you to do anything right anymore. You are who you are. I am who I am. I used to want to be, like, really close brothers. I thought that we were gonna be hanging out, you know, in Valhalla, chilling, or I don't know what he says, but that's past.
Yeah.
We passed that a long time ago, and I think, like, you know, good on Tom Hiddleston. He was, like, actually kind of hurt by that, or at least put a lot of thought into that. He felt sort of like, well, damn, like, I didn't know that we could have been cool.
Yeah. I thought he died too when Asgard exploded, because he didn't get on the ship.
Didn't get on the thing.
He was flying the Grandmaster ship to pick up the stuff or he threw the mask onto the Eternal Fire, you know. But you don't see him leave.
He doesn't. Yeah, you don't see him leave. He just shows up
He
later.
just shows up on the ship.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
He does have a ship. It shows his ship attached.
Yeah, attached to the ship, right? Yeah.
But we don't get to see it.
I wasn't expecting it. So.
That being said, even though I do think that Loki does have, like, a sincere moment with Thor, I don't know if he's changed necessarily, because I'm pretty sure that he took the Tesseract or whatever, the, like, glowing cube.
Oh, yeah, he definitely took that.
With the Infinity Stone in it. So I think he took that, and so maybe he was just like, well, maybe I'll go hang out with Thor for a little bit. Maybe he has, like, another plan.
Well, I think he also just doesn't really have anywhere else to go. I think that's kind of why he showed back up to help, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's his home, regardless,
Regardless, exactly.
That's
like,
true. Loki is sort of like, he doesn't really have anywhere to go right now.
You know,
He could go back to Sakaar. I mean, you know, they kind of said that was a good place for him.
Yeah, but that was before
they're in a revolution now.
Yeah. They're in a revolution now. And I'm pretty sure the Grandmaster knows, like, that he was involved in taking hold of the ship. So, like, if he goes back, he'll probably get that stick into that chest. So, because I think that was the intention. Like, all right, I'll stay here and take over here. But I don't think that's a good place anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to see in the Avengers a little bit. Because, again, I think Jeff Goldblum's character is going to show up again. And I hope he does.
That's probably cool.
The scenery was super neat for that planet, too, for Sakaar.
Who?
Hell yeah.
The scenery.
Oh, the scenery. Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of, like, if you took Blade Runner, but you, like, made it not so dystopian. You made it more, like, bright and pink and lovely.
Still kind of dystopian.
But still dystopian. Because it had trash and all that shit everywhere.
It was,
but I don't know if
like...
you've seen the new Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah, we loved it.
We love this.
They go out into, he goes and try to find the orphanage, right? And he's going past, like, these huge piles of just garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's like that, but it's on a bright day.
Yeah,
bright
yeah,
on a
exactly.
good day.
Different color palette.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, like, almost like that if, I don't know why this is bringing up to it, but almost if you did that, it mixed, like, Idiocracy together.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like the color palettes.
I could totally see that, yeah.
So, which is another fantastic movie. Anything else?
It's good for plants. It has electrolytes.
Was it Brondo? Brondo.
Yeah, but why?
It has electrolytes.
Because it has electrolytes.
Use water, like from the toilet. I'd be interested to see. It'd be cool if Loki becomes a good guy. If he just like, you know what?
He's
Fuck
the
it.
god of mischief, right, or something?
Oh
like
yeah, I
that?
guess you're right.
I don't
so
think
he's
that's
kind
gonna
of like,
happen.
Well,
stuck in
he's
that.
always kind of been in this weird place where he's like good and bad at the same time.
He's not like
Like he bounces back and forth in every movie.
Yeah, he's not like trying to rule the world necessarily, as much as he's.
Almost like he's bipolar. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
don't
I mean?
know.
Like on whims. He's like, oh yeah, I'm about to rule the world, but it's like the next moment he's like, man, maybe I should save Thor. He is my brother. Sometimes we had some good times. Like,
Yeah.
like when that time when I stabbed him with the snake.
Or the time when he yelled, "Get help!" and then he threw me at a person.
Yeah.
That was a great.
Yeah.
Why would Thor ever need to do that? By the way, he's
Well,
Thor.
yeah,
Why would he
he's
ever
hell,
need to
yeah.
do that?
Dude, it's the surprise faction. Plus, he just likes doing it.
Yeah, I think he just likes
He
doing
gets to
it.
throw his brother.
It's just hilarious to him.
It's awesome.
What do you think this movie is setting the Marvel universe towards? Because I know the next one that's coming out, right, is Avengers. The next Avengers one, right?
Yeah, it's the Avengers,
Thanos one.
Thanos. I don't know what it's called.
Because I recognize the ship at the end.
Yeah,
like that
that's-
big ship. I was like, that looks familiar. I remember that from something.
Yeah, that's Thanos' ship. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed now that that's Thanos.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's trying to be that secretive about it. I think the next Avengers is Thanos, and this is the setup for that movie.
Yeah, so I think what kind of happened is, so like, you had the last Avengers, Age of Ultron, and that kind of like broke everyone off into pairings, kind of. So in like Civil War, you had Captain America and Iron Man doing their thing, going
Right.
at it. In that same movie, this is what's happened. Like Hulk is on the ship, but no one knows where the fuck Hulk is. Like they kind of mentioned, I think in Civil War too. Like, where's Hulk? No one knows where Hulk is.
Yeah.
Hulk disappeared.
Yeah,
So
at
that's
the
why
end,
this one, ahead.
what's her name? Scarlett Johansson's character, Black
Black
Widow.
Widow.
She's looking for him, and they're like, "Well, maybe he landed here." She's like, "Well, we're gonna go check it out." But somehow he doesn't. You know, somehow he ends up on Sakaar. Like it just goes. The Quinjet just ends up on Sakaar, which I don't really get that necessarily, but
think
I
they
accept
tried to
it.
explain it at some point that he had done something, and ended up getting sucked into one of those like.
Yeah, I think he got sucked in one of those like warpholes or thing. And
Yeah, I
I
guess.
saw a thing with I can't remember the scientist. There's a scientist. He's a theoretical physicist, and he was talking about it. And so like that planet's kind of like just a bunch of wormhole
It's like a
thing.
meat place for.
Yeah, like they kind of explained it in the movie. It's like a place in between the inner like solar system or galaxies or whatever, known universe, and then the outer universe, I guess you could say.
Huh.
And so like everything gets sucked there. You had the big ass like wormholes and shit like that. So he just got sucked there, and then obviously, so for this 2 years, he's been there. And then at the end of Age of Ultron, Thor kind of goes off to do his own thing because he's trying to find the gauntlet and or a piece of the gauntlet or whatever, the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's going off and doing his thing. And so like they did this thing where they're pairing up those two, and then now they're pairing up Hulk and
Are the-
Thor.
The Infinity Stones, is that in Guardian of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's where
what
you
I
first
thought-
actually
That's
see
where
the
I remember
gauntlet
it from.
with the Collector.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Thor has like a dream about the Infinity Stones, and it shows that kind of like where they all are. I think so. Loki staff had one in it, which is kind of crazy to think about that Loki had one the whole time.
Yeah.
Loki's staff had one. I think the Tesseract has one. The little cube. So actually, I guess if what's his name, Loki took it, then I guess Loki still has an Infinity Stone.
Yep.
In the Guardians, they get a purple one, right?
Yeah, and I think they give it to the Collector, right? Isn't that what happens?
I don't
can't
remember, but they definitely had
It's
one.
in that sphere, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's
Open
what
up
they're
the-
fighting over the whole time of that first one.
Yeah, and they give one to the the
To
Collector.
the Collector. And so Thanos in this next, so getting back to it.
Oh no,
they did the
hold
thing-
on.
No,
they don't.
they use it at the
I
end.
forgot. Yeah,
don't
they give it to the Collector, but then they take it back, and they end up going to the planet and fighting over it.
Yeah.
Because remember, that's the guy's trying to fight for
And
it.
then they use it
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end
yeah.
to
So
fight
with
him.
this next one, though, all those movies are there to set up them, I think, supposedly being with all the heroes maybe then. Because Thanos, I think what's happening is Thanos is on his way to Earth, and that's where the movie's going to start off. Thor probably gets fucked up, and the rest of the people get to Earth. Thanos is going to Earth, and then that's where he's coming to get all his Infinity Stones. So I'm assuming that most of them are probably on Earth, right? I could be completely fucking wrong here.
They didn't have a lot of Earth scenes in this Thor. They had the one Earth scene,
Yeah.
where they went to go find Odin.
Because I don't know if I don't think Thanos has any or very few of the Infinity Stones currently. He's coming to get
I
them.
don't remember.
Who has the gauntlet for it?
He has the gauntlet.
He has a gauntlet.
Yeah.
There's the one that Odin had in the room. Remember,
fake
she
as hell.
like punches it over and she's like, that's fake.
Yeah.
So it shows you that Odin's that kind of person, you know, has fake stuff. He's the guy wearing the fake Rolex. Like, he's got the fake spinners.
It says Rolex. No. Yeah, I don't know how many. I really don't remember. Maybe I don't know.
I'd have to go.
All I
back
know
and
is
feel
that
like there's
Loki
like
probably
9.
has one right now.
Definitely, I think Loki has one.
And
he's
Vision.
obviously
Oh,
going-
Vision has one on his fucking
Oh,
face.
that's right, in his head, yeah.
Oh, damn, that means Vision's dead.
Yeah, I
Vision's
think that does
definitely
mean
dead.
that.
He's gonna take that shit right out of his head.
Man, I need to watch all these movies
Yeah, I see.
now
I gotta
catch
watch
up.
all
I
of them.
did too.
Well, I mean, I gotta rewatch all of them, and then I gotta watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I just remember the ending scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, where they go up to, I don't know, some planet or some space, or it's
Yeah,
like purple, and I just remember him being on the throne or
Yeah,
whatever.
because he
talking.
uses it to defeat that guy or something.
Yeah, he has the dance off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. They give
And
it to
Groot
the
dies
planet.
and all that stuff, yeah.
They give it to the planet.
Groot's alive.
I don't remember what the planet's called, but they
Yes,
give
I
it to
know
them
Groot's
to
alive.
safekeep.
So maybe Dennis might have already gotten that one.
Yeah, that one is off Earth, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, or maybe something has happened to it since then, because I don't know. But
So maybe he's headed to Earth. Loki will be at Earth. That must be why Loki's going. They need Loki to go because he has the Tesseract, which has one in it.
yeah, I was thinking maybe Thanos is tracking him down, and since Loki has the Tesseract, he's Thanos is just like, all right, Loki, you owe me.
Yeah.
Which he
Give me that.
does. And so, which means he'll have to give him that to survive. Because I think
So
he
this-
does owe him. for
Yeah, I
something.
So
think
this
so.
next one's going to be like the end-all be-all for this,
Yeah.
this
So it's
series.
going to be a big old fight, and I don't think
fucking
I
4-hour
don't think everyone's
movie.
going to make it out, man.
Yeah,
Get you up on everything.
I don't think everyone's going to make it out.
this one's gonna have an intermission.
Exactly.
It's gonna be like 2 parts.
It might be actually. They do that sometimes.
I think-
Not really in Marvel, but
I don't like that when they do that, though.
I think they do a good job of, I think all the superhero films do this, of mixing people who have, like, more low-key superpowers and those who are just, like, gods, you know? Like, for example, Superman and Batman. Like, Batman doesn't have anything spectacular power. He can't fly or anything, but he has, like, all these gadgets or whatever.
Yeah.
Superman has, like, all this innate ability to do these
Superman's
things.
dead, yeah. Didn't he die?
Oh, my God.
Superman.
I'm fucking leaving.
You're literally referencing the movie in which he dies.
Cool.
So you didn't watch it, but you
No,
can
I watched the
reference it.
trailer. I know he's...
Superman's not dead.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Yeah, Superman's coming back.
But are you sure?
But in Marvel, they do it too, because they've got people like Black Widow and Hawkeye who are like, I mean, Black Widow, she doesn't have anything spectacular. She's just like a spy or something.
Sweet
She's
ass
an
moves.
assassin.
I don't know if that's a power, buddy.
And,
What's your
Power
superpower?
Hawkeye's got the bow or
Sweet ass
whatever.
moves.
But then you got characters like Thor who could summon lightning and,
The god of lightning.
you know.
That's a cool thing
Hulk.
about this movie, that Hulk and Thor are just like, oh yeah, we're like actual superpowered people.
Yeah.
Thor, especially, like, I didn't expect Thor without his hammer, without really, well, I guess he does get his lightning or whatever, but without his hammer to be
He's
able
a
to,
god.
like, yeah, I mean, but like, I'm talking about just in pure strength, like, he's throwing fucking, the Hulk around like it ain't shit, you know, like I
That
didn't
was
expect
cool,
that when
yeah.
I was watching. Like, I expected him to have his hammer and, hit someone in the face with his hammer. And
Well,
they
he
go
had
flying.
that,
But I don't expect him
yeah.
without the hammer, but he had that little fake
He had
ass
that
hammer.
fake hammer, yeah.
Yeah, but so like, I don't expect him to just straight up be like, all right, you got the Hulk. It would be like, I don't know, fucking Hulk Hogan standing up next to you, Jordan. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
and then Jordan
I'm
being
sorry.
like, fuck you, bitch. Boom, it hits him and he flies like Dragon Ball Z style 30 yards.
Yeah.
Just so the people listening know, Jordan is an average male. Very,
He's 6 foot tall. I'm like, it's not like I'm a stout.
he's not a very short individual or anything.
Now everybody imagines Jordan to be like 3 foot tall.
Dwarf. He's some really skinny Sean Astin type or something. Isn't Sean
Sean
Astin like really?
Astin
Isn't
type?
Sean Astin like really short?
I don't know.
Maybe Sean Astin.
He was he was one of the hobbits, so maybe that's why you're thinking
Samwise
that.
Gamgee.
Yep. But anyways, yeah. Anything else?
Go see the movie.
Go see the movie.
Go see the movie.
Go see
Super
Doctor
good.
Strange too.
Go
Yeah.
see Doctor Strange.
Go see all of
On
them.
Netflix.
Just go see all of them, man. They're
Yeah.
all
Catch
pretty
yourself
good.
up.
You're gonna need to before Age of whatever the next
Age of
Avengers.
Super Avengers,
Age of
Return of
Super
Thanos,
Avengers.
Age
Part
of
6.
Super Thanos. Justice War.
Justice War.
So like I said,
Ragnarok.
10 out of 10 movie for me. 7 out of 5 for Jordan. 9 out of 9 for Jared and 9 out of 9 for David. It's super good. Go see the damn movie. I love you. Tyler's not here, so he doesn't hate you. Jared's neutral. David loves you too. Jordan actually is taking Tyler's spot. He hates your fucking guts. Let's fucking do
I didn't
it.
say that, but yeah, I'm cool.
Have a good day.
Something came over me.
Sing it. Hell yeah.
Jay, do you want to start this one up, Jared?
No.
Nice.
Don't even consider it. No.
No.